If you have been spending more on your garden every season and getting less in return, you are not doing something wrong. The soil is. For 48 years, scientists tracked exactly what synthetic fertilizer does to that soil. Not what the label promises, what the data shows. What they found was the opposite of everything the industry told us. The fertilizer wasn't building soil fertility. It was consuming it, accelerating the decay of the very organic matter it claimed to replace, creating a spiral where soil needed more chemicals every season just to produce the same result. That isn't a side effect. That is the business model. Meanwhile, in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 44,000 people have been farming the same land for over 200 years. No synthetic inputs, no spiral, no dependency. Press your hand into their soil, and it feels different from anything you have touched in a conventional garden. Dark, loose, almost spongy, full of earthworms in every fistful. And their soil gets richer every decade. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what they understood, that industrial agriculture spent decades trying to bury, and why the $2 ingredient sitting in most kitchen cupboards right now triggers a biological chain reaction underground that makes expensive fertilizer almost completely unnecessary. The person who cracked this open wasn't a scientist, not a professor, not a laboratory, not a university grant. Just a farmer in New Mexico with degraded land, declining yields, and a growing suspicion that everything he had been told about soil was wrong. His name is David Johnson, and what he built in his backyard changed the way researchers think about soil biology entirely. Johnson had watched conventional farming do exactly what the data confirmed: strip the land, increase inputs, watch productivity fall anyway. He was working soil that had lost over 60% of its original organic matter, land that needed more inputs every season just to hold its previous yield. The spiral the 48-year studies described, he was living inside it. So he stopped. He built something called a Johnson-Su Bioreactor, a simple structure, no turning, no machinery, just carefully layered organic material left alone long enough for fungi to dominate, not bacteria. Fungi. That distinction matters more than almost anything else in this video. Because what Johnson discovered is that healthy soil isn't just full of microbes, it's full of the right microbes in the right ratio, fungal dominant soil, the kind the Amish have been quietly preserving for 200 years without ever knowing the scientific term for it. After 425 days, what came out of that bioreactor wasn't fertilizer. It was something more powerful than fertilizer. 2 pounds of it, applied per acre, outperformed conventional inputs on test plots at New Mexico State University. Not matched them, outperformed them. The difference wasn't nutrients. The soil already had nutrients, locked inside it, chemically unavailable. What Johnson's inoculant did was restore the biological machinery that unlocks them. Fungi were the key. They always had been. Here is what most people never learn. Plants feed fungi through their roots, pumping sugars directly into the soil in exchange for nutrients. Fungi unlock a biological trade that has existed for 450 million years. The moment synthetic nitrogen arrived, plants stopped paying. Nitrogen was free. The trade collapsed. The fungi died, and the soil lost the only machinery that made it work. The Amish never broke that trade. That is the whole secret. That trade has a name. Scientists call it mycorrhizal symbiosis, but forget the term for a moment. Just hold the image. Threads, thinner than a human hair, extending outward from your plant's roots in every direction, sometimes 100 times further than the roots themselves could ever reach, moving through the soil like a living web, quietly, invisibly, unlocking minerals from places the plant could never access alone. Zinc, phosphorus, iron, pulled from deep locked pockets in the earth and delivered directly to the root in exchange for sugars the plant produces above ground. The plant feeds the web feeds the plant. It has worked this way for 450 million years, long before farming, long before fertilizer, Long before anyone thought soil needed managing at all, the Amish preserved it without a name for it. No-till soil, undisturbed year after year, manure and leaf mold layered on top. They were protecting something they could feel but couldn't see. And the results showed up in the harvest every single season. Modern research across 104 studies confirmed what those harvests already knew. Crops connected to healthy fungal networks absorbed up to 33% more zinc. Some warm-season plants acquired up to 90% of their phosphorus entirely through those threads, not from a bag, from the web living beneath them. Here is the sentence that stopped me when I first read it. The plant doesn't need the fertilizer, it needs the fungi, and the fertilizer killed the fungi. Sit with that, because that is the entire story. The moment synthetic nitrogen enters the soil, the plant stops pumping sugars downward. The trade collapses. The web shrinks. The biological machinery unlocking nutrients goes quiet, and the soil that looked like it was being fed was slowly being hollowed out from underneath. So if the web is the machine, the question becomes simple. How do you feed it? The answer the Amish have used for over 200 years costs almost nothing. And the science now explains exactly why it works. Molasses, raw, unsulfured molasses, found in almost any grocery store for under $2. Here is what it does underground. Molasses is a dense carbon source. Carbon is the food that fungi need to multiply. A peer-reviewed study found that applying molasses at the right concentration increased soil enzyme activity by up to 80% in depleted soils. Specifically dehydrogenase activity, the biological marker that tells researchers whether the soil food web is alive and functioning. 80% from a $2 bottle. Here is exactly how to apply it. Mix 1 tablespoon of raw unsulfured molasses into 1 gallon of water. Do not use sulfured molasses. The sulfur kills the very microbes you are trying to feed. And that is the mistake most people make. They grab whatever bottle is closest without checking the label. Sulfured molasses is processed with sulfur dioxide as a preservative. It will work against you. Apply the solution directly to your soil around the base of your plants. Not on the leaves, on the soil. Early morning is ideal, so the moisture carries the carbon down toward the root zone before the heat of the day. Do this once every 2 to 3 weeks through your growing season. The Amish equivalent is simpler. Aged manure and leaf mold layered directly onto undisturbed soil every season. Same biological principle. Dense organic carbon feeding the fungal web consistently over time. Consistency is everything. This is not a one-application fix. The fungal network rebuilds slowly. In degraded soil, expect measurable changes in soil texture and plant resilience within 1 full growing season. 2 seasons of consistent application, and the difference becomes visible without any testing. I started this in my 3rd year of gardening after 2 seasons of watching my tomatoes yellow mid-summer despite regular watering. 1 full season of molasses application every 3 weeks. Yields up 40%. The yellowing stopped entirely. The soil had stopped asking for help. It had started doing the work itself. One timing note. In cooler zones, 3 through 5, begin 2 weeks after your last frost date when soil temperature reaches at least 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Below that, threshold microbial activity slows and the carbon has less immediate impact. In warmer zones, 7 through 9, you can begin as early as late winter and continue through fall. Picture the conventional approach for a moment. A garden center shelf. Rows of identical bottles with warning labels in small type. Gloves recommended. Keep away from children. Do not inhale. You carry it home, mix it carefully, spray it across your plants, and watch the white powder disappear from the leaves. It works. For a while. Then the mildew returns. You spray again. The beneficial insects beginning to establish in your garden. Gone. The fungal web you spent 2 seasons rebuilding, disrupted. The bottle is empty. You go back to the shelf. That is one image. Now hold a different one. A glass jar, whole milk, 15 grams of dry milk powder dissolved into 1 liter of water. A solution so diluted it looks like water with a memory of milk in it. You pour it into a spray bottle, walk into the garden on a clear morning, and apply it gently across the leaves, showing the first signs of powdery mildew. And then the sun does something the bottle on the shelf cannot. Ultraviolet light hits the proteins in that diluted milk solution and triggers a chemical reaction. Oxygen radicals, the same compounds your immune system uses to destroy pathogens, form on the surface of the leaf. Extraordinarily toxic to fungal cells, completely harmless to the waxy protective coating of the leaf itself. The mildew doesn't stand a chance. 2-year field trials at commercial vineyards found that a 10% milk solution performed as well as synthetic fungicides in controlling powdery mildew. Not close to as well. The Amish have used dairy waste this way for generations. Whey, the liquid left over from cheesemaking, applied to struggling plants. No name for the mechanism, just the observation that it worked when the sun was out. Modern biochemistry now knows exactly why. Here is what makes this a system element and not just a tip. The milk solution does 2 things simultaneously. It eliminates mildew on contact through UV-activated oxygen radicals, and the organic compounds that reach the soil beneath feed the microbial web you have been rebuilding. The same application that protects the plant above ground nourishes the biological system below it. 1 action, 2 directions. That is not just a home remedy for powdery mildew. That is a delivery system for biological restoration. 1 boundary: the sun sets. This mechanism only activates in direct sunlight. On overcast days, the UV reaction cannot complete and the treatment loses its effect. Apply on clear mornings, never on cloudy days, never in shade. Here is where it starts to come together. And I want you to notice something before I explain it, because once you see it, the pattern becomes difficult to miss. You have just done 2 things in your garden. Mixed molasses into water and fed it to your soil. Mixed milk powder into water and applied it to your leaves. 2 simple actions. 2 kitchen ingredients, both under $2. But here is the paradox. Neither one of them was actually about the plant. The molasses wasn't feeding your tomatoes. It was feeding the fungal web beneath them. The milk solution wasn't just treating the mildew. It was feeding that same biological system through the soil beneath the spray. 2 applications, 1 target. The living network underground. And that network, once fed consistently, does something no bottle on a garden center shelf has ever done. It begins to work on its own. The fungi extend further. They unlock more minerals. They deliver zinc and phosphorus and iron directly to the root without any further instruction from you. The plant stops struggling because the system beneath it stopped being starved. This is the resolution. You were never supposed to feed the plant directly. You were supposed to feed the system that feeds the plant. The Amish understood this not as a philosophy, but as an observation. Leave the soil undisturbed. Layer organic matter on top. Let the web do what it was designed to do. Modern research now quantifies what they observed. Fungal networks accounting for just 1% of soil biomass have been found to sustain up to 50% of total vegetation in entire ecosystems. In the Serengeti, in ancient forests, in the undisturbed fields of Lancaster County, 1% doing the work of everything. Now look at what you have built. The molasses feeds the microbial web. The milk solution protects the plant above ground while contributing organic compounds to that same web below. The undisturbed soil preserves the fungal threads that deliver what the web unlocks. 3 elements, 1 integrated system, each one making the others more effective. That goes beyond traditional gardening. It becomes ecosystem engineering. And the person doing it is not someone who learned a trick from a video. That is someone who understands how living systems actually work. Someone who grows food by restoring the structures beneath it, rather than overriding it with chemicals. That is the shift this approach creates, and here is the philosophy that explains why that shift matters. There is a German word that runs through Amish life like a river through a valley. Gelassenheit. It doesn't translate cleanly into English, but the closest meaning is this: yielding to the natural order, trusting that the system has a balance built into it, a balance that existed long before we arrived with our spray bottles and our quarterly earnings reports. That word is the explanation for everything you have watched in this video. The Amish didn't preserve their soil because they had better science. They preserved it because they never believed the soil needed to be overridden. They yielded to it, and the soil responded with 2 centuries of increasing fertility on the same land. Meanwhile, the $46 billion industry sold us the opposite idea: that the soil was broken, that the plant needed managing, that nature left alone would fail. Decades of data proved otherwise. The fertilizer was never building anything. It was borrowing against a biological inheritance and charging us for the loan. That inheritance is still there, waiting to be restored. Here is what this video has actually been about. Healthy soil is not fed. It is populated. Living systems do not need managing. They need protecting. The plant is not passive. It is trading. The fungi are not decorative. They are infrastructure. What looks like dirt is the most complex ecosystem on Earth. And the gardener's job is not to override it. It is to restore the conditions that allow it to work. Those are not just tips. They are principles, and they have been true for 450 million years. Now, the technique teased at the beginning. The $2 input sitting in most kitchen cupboards right now. Raw, unsulfured molasses, 1 tablespoon, 1 gallon of water. Applied directly to your soil every 2 to 3 weeks through your growing season. That single application feeds the fungal web beneath your plants. The fungi multiply. The mycorrhizal network extends. Minerals locked deep in the soil become available to your roots without a single synthetic input. 1 full growing season of consistent application. 40% more yield. The yellowing that had been stopping my tomatoes midsummer, gone entirely. The soil had stopped asking for help. It had started doing the work itself, and the cost. The average household spends between $60 and $120 per season on synthetic fertilizer. 1 bottle of raw unsulfured molasses costs under $2 and lasts an entire growing season at the application rate described. The $46 billion industry built a business on a problem that a $2 bottle was already solving. The Amish knew. Johnson proved it. The bottle on the shelf was never the answer. Total cost per season: under $4 including the milk solution. The Amish understood this principle for 2 centuries. Johnson's Bioreactor confirmed it at New Mexico State University. A $2 bottle of molasses lets you begin restoring it this weekend. But once you understand how the fungal web works, a larger question begins to form. If the soil can rebuild its own biological infrastructure, if the web can restore itself when we stop destroying it, what does that mean for the food growing above it, for the nutrients it produces, for the phytochemicals that form when a plant is healthy enough to stop defending itself and start investing in density? The answer changes what you understand about the food on your plate. If this changed how you see your garden, leave a comment and tell me, are you still tilling? Still using synthetic nitrogen? Still buying the bottle? Name the one thing you are going to stop, because that is where restoration actually begins. And if you want to keep going deeper into how living systems actually work, how forgotten practices are being confirmed by modern science, 1 study at a time, subscribe. Not because this channel needs the number, because this is the kind of knowledge that builds on itself. The more you understand, the more effectively you can work with the system. And that is the kind of gardener this knowledge helps create.